Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Camis and this is Camis Fluid Energy Healing Arts.
I'm an energy healer, clairvoyant energy channel, crystal Reiki master, intuitive card reader, light worker, earth keeper, and Andromedan starseed.
So that's funny. I used to get everything through dreams, and now I get no dreams. The dreams are so rare, and I heard someone talk about that. As your other senses are opening, you get the ones that you're really comfortable with kind of close down so that you can kind of learn to use those other ones. You know how when somebody goes blind, suddenly all their other senses get really heightened? So if you're working in one, but you're going to develop another, one will kind of close down to stop the interference, as it were, and then they kind of come back together, and then you're working these two together. And then, because I work in like all of them, I mean, I get strange, weird crowd just in the middle of the day, strange smells. I'm like, does anybody smell? And everybody's like, no, that's just you. Dreams are personal to every, you know what I mean? So I tell people just write them down about once a week, go through your journal, read it. It could take years for that dream to make sense. You know, so if you just kind of read back through them, all of a sudden something will click someday. So, yeah, I understand my own dreams, but my husband's like, oh, I had the craziest dream, listen to this. And I'm like, oh, that's really interesting, it might be. And he's like, no, that doesn't make any sense. Something else that's a little bit interesting, when I do this, when I'm channeling, I only have very short-term memory recall on what is being done in the session. If I don't record it and edit it, after about an hour, it's gone, all of it, completely dissolved. You can't ask me a question about the last, because I don't recall. So it's really strange. I'm not sure what area of the brain that happens in, that, you know, but it's really strange. So I don't understand the mechanics, it just goes. So about a year ago, the vivid dreams stopped. Yeah. Are you noticing more kind of gaining insight on things, or being next to people and really picking up on their emotions and that kind of thing? Yeah, I think you're just opening other senses, because that's in your cards. I was seeing that it was a lot of leaving behind that which you were comfortable with, that which you know, that which was familiar, and going ahead into these things which aren't quite as substantiated, but they're there, and you know they're there, and you trust they're there, and you're just moving that direction. So it seems like you're just kind of transitioning out of one way of operating into another one. I get a lot of questions about what I see or what I hear, and sometimes I might be confusing, because I'll say, well, I'm hearing, and sometimes when I say hearing, it's actually knowing, but you can't say I'm knowing. That's weird. So I'll say I see or I hear in place of I know, but it's kind of the same thing, and it's usually a combination of, like, I'm knowing hearing something, but I've kind of got a visual, and all this stuff is coming together, and then occasionally a smell pops in there, and I'm like, oh, okay, that helps narrow it in, or you know what I mean? But a lot of mine is in-body, that empathic in-body sensation. So when I'm doing all the, whatever this is, you know, when all that's happening, it's all feeling. I'm just following up and down through my body, front, back, up, down, in, out, whatever. And my hands do whatever they do. Again, I don't know the mechanics of it. I just know that it works. But it's kind of that, it all just kind of comes together. So sometimes people get really stuck with, well, I don't hear, like we're hearing each other. You know what I mean? It's more like you're hearing me, but what you want to say, you have to translate, right? Yeah, so it's a little bit like that. So sometimes, especially if I'm going on with whatever the mouth is saying, sometimes in the background, I'm actually having a full-blown conversation in English, that is in, like, it's almost like a backstage conversation. But that was the deal I made when I started doing this, because this stuff started coming in, like, I was just walking through the house, and all of a sudden stuff started happening. The whole body turned on, and it was like stuff's coming out of my mouth. My hands are moving. I'm like, I better get a camera. So I was very beholding to it just bursting through, And then I'm like, okay, well, I don't really know what I'm saying, and I don't really know what I'm doing, so I'm not going to trust this to put it out there unless I have some part to play in this. In other words, I see people that tune out of their body and channel that way. No, thank you. Not for me. That's just not for me. It could be I'm a control freak. I don't know. But I want to filter it first. So, and that could be heavy Christian training. You know what I mean? That's that kind of being aware of what's coming through. Yeah. So, in the background, I kind of have conversations and clarify things and just whatever's going on back there. So if there is a long run of silence, it's usually I'm visually observing something that I'm seeing in my mind's eye. The other day I had one where I was seeing in my mind's eye this grouping of light beings in a circle around my space, right? And I took a breath and I opened my eyes and they were here. I could see these outlines and I was like, and the person on the other end was like, what are you seeing? And I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I have to breathe. Because I've seen a lot of things out there, but I have never seen that. And that was really interesting. So sometimes I do things and it's new. And in the private sessions, that seems to be a lot of new stuff coming in that's really interesting. And I've had people tell me that some of what I do might be called remote viewing. Because when I check into the energy, like I really do. When I had a bit of a vision some time ago where, what wasn't a bit of a vision, it was a full vision. I don't normally see my parents. It's pretty rare. But on this particular occasion, I was meditating, and my mother and my father, who's my adoptive father, came into this vision, and we were standing in the redwoods. Okay? He was leaned up against a tree, kind of like relaxed, like hand in the pocket, kind of relaxed kind of thing. He didn't say anything. She stepped more forward towards me, and she always had a kind of a way that she moved, and she kind of stepped into me like this and looked at me, and she smiled, and then we were somewhere else. And we went, it felt like down underneath the trees, okay, like almost like a cavern underneath the trees. And there I could see countless people, and they were just all together there, just peacefully all together there. And it was like every kind of person from every era that we can imagine, like all kinds of people. And I didn't hear it with my ears, but it was more of a psychic knowing conversation that she began to explain to me, this is us. We are part of all of this. At any time, we can pick and connect with anyone, anywhere, across any time. It's all right here. It's all right here. Here. In here. You don't have to go anywhere. It's just here. And in that, I just felt it, understood it. I agreed with her, and then it was over. That quick. And that gave me a different perspective, and it made it a lot easier to connect. And so then when I connect, I come like, really, I begin to just connect with your energy. And it's pretty unusual for me to not be able to get into someone who agreed to do a session. The one session I was doing, because it was right at the beginning, and this one sticks with me because she brought it back to me later. And I said, I'm seeing, because I see a lot of colors. At the beginning of my video where it says I'm a energy worker and all the blah blah, whatever that says. And behind it's all this watercolor flowing. I see that. I see colors that flow water-like or that billow like smoke. And then it's just, I work a lot with color. But with this particular session, I saw like a dark navy blue, and that turned to like a background, and then I could see roses, red roses. And I said, well, I'm seeing this really beautiful deep navy blue, and it's got red roses. And she went, stop it, Cami, that's my dress. Just check it in. That's all. So I can't control what I get. I can control the connection. You know, not control it so much, I just allow it. And then it is what it is. Whatever happens, happens. I never intend to do any future telling. Mostly what I do is like a now snapshot. In fact, we usually process through releasing what was past and letting go of what might be and just being right here, right now. Yeah, so it's kind of like a now snapshot that you can take and use for growth. You know, this is where you're at. So, all right, good with that? Okay, so based on the cards, I brought, let's see this. My singing bowl has water, okay? And this is really purified water. It was spring water, and then it was put through my Berkey. Okay, so it's really clean water. I dropped a couple drops of lavender in that. I do have a little beeswax candle going down here, just because I wanted some candlelight coming in. I have some red coral that I'm going to put in the water. So if you have a bowl and some water and some crystals and whatever you feel comfortable with. Basically what we're going here is we're going for emotional clearing, pretty much through the womb. Okay, so kind of the whole hara area, this whole thing. All right. So, I'm going to use the bowl. We're going to come into center. 3 breaths in. First one's down to Gaia. Second one's to Creator Source. We're creating that nice connection line, okay, from our higher self, source, higher self, down through the body into Gaia. And the third breath is just between you and me, okay? If there's any really universal messages in this session, if I decide that I'm going to use them for a public video, there is no way, any way you will be identified, okay? So if we have anything like that come through, I'll let you know that I'm putting a video up that came from your video, okay? All right. But the energy today is just you and me. If I send it out that way, I'll change the encapsulation and send it out again, okay? All right. So deep breath in through the heart space, coming in from the back. Filling up through the body. I'm going to release that down to Mama Gaia. Another deep breath in through the heart space, allowing that to fill up through the body. Releasing that up to Creator Source. Shumakaya Shantiya Kariya Samtiya Pariya Shom Koya Sekaya Shantiya Kaya Sitraya Samakapuriya Sika. Last breath in through the heart space, allowing that to fill up through the body. Then we're going to release that as gold light to each other, creating that connection in this session. So we're going to do a quick Reiki scan because I'm already activated in the throat, like instantly activated in the throat. Irania shu so swandria shi kamish. Rasam kaya shum tria sike shitria samania redia shu kabusa. Rakaya shemia to yashuko shantia saredia sam. This is a really heavy what word? Like a connection. I'm seeing an old school switchboard. Like a telephone switchboard. So we're making a lot of connections between your heart space, your sacred voice, and your other sensory receptors, including your causal chakra, which is kind of like a halo behind your head. I'm being instructed not to go the rest of the way down. I literally went to move my hands and they froze. So we're going to clear that with the water. We're creating a Reiki ball of energy for you right now. This is something I do usually when you're not here. It's got a lot of white, yellow, and orange in it. Okay, I'm going to send that to you now. You just breathe that in. So I'm just receiving the Reiki energy ball from Camis. Do you practice any Reiki? Okay. So I just saw this symbol in my mind's eye. Okay. This is halo. I always think of it as halo. It's kind of a zonar, which is it's an expanded zonar, which is kind of a Z, and then kind of 3 infinity symbols across the torso. But then this brings another line down, triangles up over your head, and puts that kind of halo up top. And that is like an extensive protection coming down over. Think of it almost just like that protective thing coming down. This is for really deep cellular work, okay? Which actually makes sense to me, why we brought in the water and why we're bringing in the crystals and all the elements. Actually, as I'm looking down here, we just literally brought in all the elements, okay? If you're having any I can't or I'm not sure, that's all from ego, and that gets cleared with this, okay? Also, if you have any psychological, energetic, or psychic attacks coming your way, what this does is it neutralizes the energy, it transmutes it, and it returns it to the sender as healed energy. Okay, it's no longer chaotic, whatever was coming to you. And often people don't send that intentionally. They don't control their thoughts. Okay, so they just arbitrarily send crap. So this stops the crap and turns it back into good stuff. Okay? Removes the toxins and makes it good fertilizer. All right? So I'm just going to fix you with this symbol. I'm also going to place you into a crystal because you actually do have some things that are coming at you. As soon as we did that, I could see them. I saw a book closing, and I was sensing the end of a chapter. So like you finish the chapter and you close the book. Okay? Doesn't mean the book has ended, it just means you finish that chapter and you close the book. Okay? Okay. Let's move on to this clearing with the water. Okay. So, this is my Kuan Yin Bowl, as a matter of fact. And it is, the tone is for your sacral. Okay. Now it may tone higher or lower because I have water in it and crystals, but. So this is a little bit interesting to me. So the way I'm sitting, this is west, and this is east. And the light is coming in my window, which is to the west. But with my eyes closed, this side is dark, and this side is light. Okay, and it's almost a divided split down the center. So from the west indicates water. In shamanism, it's the condor releasing, okay? Like if someone is passing, transitioning, we would call in the crystal condor to assist them in the transition, to clarify it for them. But I'm seeing some darkness on this side, so we're going to ask some more questions about that, okay? So don't know if you have someone who passed that you're needing to release, was my initial feeling, okay? So we're just going to ask some questions about that. So do you have some water there with you? Okay. So, That's really interesting. I don't have any more information about it right now. It's probably going to come because it's resting here. It's like staying. Okay, so we're just going to send our blessing into the water right now. Just allow our energy to transfer into the water. Your right hand is your sending hand, your left hand is your receiving hand. So what we're going to do with this water now is we're going to just take little bits of it, you know, where you just kind of put your fingers into it, all right? So I think it's off camera for you on the thing, but just kind of put your hands in, all right? I'm not going to be able to see too good for a minute because I'm going to pull the glasses off. But we're going to come up, we're going to begin with the throat because that's where we were brought into first. So we're just going to cleanse this area with the throat. So that our words, our sacred words, are purified and only contain unconditional love. We release all that is not unconditional love, whether it's coming to us or coming through us. Get a little bit more water. And we're going to bring that up and we're going to do our ears. And this is to clarify our ears so that we receive messages in clear hearing that is only unconditional love. All that is not unconditional love will be purified, whether it's coming in or whether it's going out. Go again, and this time we're going to do the eyes. Clarifying our visions, allowing us to see all others, all other beings, whether those are people, whether those are plants, whether those are crystals or rocks. Is only unconditional love. We see them only in their wholeness and their fullness. I'm getting a little bit more. I'm going to come up now to our third eye. Purifying all of our etheric visions. Darkness cleared on the west side. Okay, so that was a visionary block. Again, this time we're going to do the crown. Okay. Clearing all connections, at all levels. Okay, again, this time we're going for the heart space. A lot of times you see me work front and back. Coming in and opening up this heart chakra now. Oh, that's quite beautiful. It's a golden, looks more like a rose than a lotus. It's got a lot of petals, but it is fully open. And I don't normally see it that way. Quite beautiful. Coming into the solar plexus now. That's interesting. So there's a little bit of gray coming in on this side again. So this is also your masculine energy is on this side. So I feel like we're bringing into balance some things. So the third eye and the will. You had balance in your cards, right? Yes, you have balance in your cards. Okay. So what we're going to do is this way. I know I just drew a triangle, but I see a yellow, vibrant, masculine triangle. Okay. So getting an activation in my spine in the back, just below like where my bra line is, down to just about the waist area, like just kind of in the back, it's about here. Okay. That's really lit up, so I'm just going to use my hands to send some energy to that area. I don't know if you have an injury there. I say that yes? Okay. So sometimes we store trauma in the body. Okay? I'm seeing some trauma that has been stored here. I don't know if it was from the physical injury or if this is more of an emotional trauma. I mean, based on your reading, I might think it might be some emotional trauma stored here. So I'll put my glasses back on. Okay. All right. So we're just going to bring this rose quartz with the hematoid into it. I'm just going to kind of hold that between both hands. Yep. And just kind of allow that energy to flow through into there. So I'm going to breathe into that space from behind. Allow that energy to just kind of fill up in that whole area of the body. So we can kind of envision that as a white light. We're just going to breathe into this a few times. And as we exhale, we're just going to let the energy pass down into Mama Gaia, okay? Yes. Continuing drawing a white light into this area, letting it spread out, and releasing it down to Gaia. And another strong breath into this space. As white light filling up pass down to Gaia. Now from Gaia, I would like you to draw up some gold light into this space. So coming into the vertebrae, the spaces between the vertebrae, into the spinal fluid, out into the muscles surrounding this space. We receive from the earth all that we need for our healing. We visualize this space as completely healed. Anytime you feel any twinginess there, repeat this process. Just get your hands back there and breathe in some Reiki white light from behind, okay? Let it pass down about 3 or 4 times, and then allow the energy from Gaia to come up through and just settle into that space, okay? And keep visualizing it healed, not injured, healed. Keep telling it it's healed, okay? All right. That's what I mean. I just feel it. It's different every time. Okay. Moving down now. So now we're going to move into the sacral area. So we're going to use a triangle. It's kind of that sacred symbol for the womb. So we're just going to kind of come over this area. So I'm going to want you to repeat this with me. The womb is not a place to hold fear or pain. Okay? The womb is not a place to hold fear and pain. The womb is a place of creativity and birthing life. So again, the womb is not a place to hold fear and pain. The womb is a place to birth creativity and life. One last time. The womb is not a place to hold fear and pain. The womb is a place for creativity and birthing of life. So when I came into that space, it was very dark. And as we were coming into about the 3rd time of saying that, it became a golden orange swirling energy. Okay, it was very golden, but with orange, and it was just kind of swirling. All right. Okay, so last one, we're going to come into the root space, to the base. We're going to continue to release any fear, any pain, whether that is from this life or any past lives. That would be affecting our stability in this lifetime. We're clearing out the root that we may easily pass things through and receive things from Gaia. So I'm picking up a certain amount of trauma here. Did you have any children? Okay, it could be from births. So it could be other things. Kumboriasam Niakariasham Niatariasam Kapoyashutoriasam Kayasham. Irama Site Shoporiasikarisham Tia Site Hishimatiasam. Okoyasham Niasakayashapuriasam. Irampayashukoyasham Niatariasam Kayashupuasita. Irama Kayashupuasukumayasham Niasam. Iramatiasham Kasam. Estam Poishyapuasutoyasham Niapayasham. Kayasham Tiasam. Okay. So we're going to do that same process with drawing the light in to this space. Okay. I'm going to grab the hematoid and I'm going to grab them both. So I'm going to have one front and one back. So we're just going to draw in white light again into that space, into that coccyx area. Let that fill up through the space. And just release that down to Gaia. Another breath in, drawing in white light. And releasing that down to Gaia. One more time, drawing in white light. And releasing that down to Gaia. Now we have pink light there. Gosh, yes, okay, what do you see? Just going to draw some energy from my candle. I have the candle down here, so we're just going to kind of clear this whole space now energetically. Okay. These things back. So the water in that bowl is blessed water. So if you have some plants, you can pour that on your plants. That would be really good for them. Okay, I'm going to see if there's any more messages that are coming in for you. What time are we at? Oh, we've been here almost an hour. Okay. All right. Let me just check for more messages in this space, because the space is nice and light. It's a very light gold. As I close my eyes, I'm just in a space that's kind of light, glittery gold. So that heart space is nice and active, nice and open. You're feeling a release from the solar plexus. But I'm seeing nice, equal light values on both sides. The whole way up and down. So I'm just feeling a nice sense of calm, a nice sense of peace. I'm not hearing things or seeing things other than that gold sparkly light space. Okay. Do you have any questions? Do you have anything else? Okay. All right. I think we're going to bring our bowl back in. And we're going to bring this down to a close. So all this does is it just helps separate the connection so that we're not running around all day feeding off each other's energy. Okay. All right. So we come now with all love and in all gratitude for the work that has been done here today, and for the healing that has taken place today. So at this time we would like to close this session and release this connection. Okay. All right. Thank you for being here. Thank you. If you have any questions, if anything pops to mind later, let me know. Over the next couple days, I'm going to keep sending you that rainbow Reiki energy, especially for the physical healing down the back, okay? So the back into the coccyx area, I'll just keep sending you that energy. So if you're getting anything and you want me to send you a specific kind of energy, again, I work with mostly the colors when it's coming in the Reiki energy, and they do all kinds of different things. But I have behind me, I have all my papers for my people, my different clients that I'm working on for the week. So I kind of sit down at one time and I kind of send it all out in that session. So I'm nice and tuned in. So if there's anything specific, let me know. This hurts here, that hurts there. Anytime we do a healing like this, especially if there's some physical healing and things are moving out, emotional things are moving out, you may run into what I call like a growth period, okay? Where you might be a little testy. So if you got other people in the house, you might want to let them know. Doing a little expansion. Give me some space if I'm a little off. I'm not intending to be, just, yeah. Okay, so I find if I let them know, they're a lot more forgiving. But don't judge yourself at all. It isn't like any, I've had people that get, and your energy's not this way, but I have people that get very, I backslid or something like that, or I don't know why I'm going, it's not back, it's ghosting out. It's whatever that energy was, it just doesn't jive with your vibration anymore because we raised your vibration in this session. Yeah, so you're just purging it and it's just leaving. Okay, so no self-judgment, only self-love, which based on your heart chakra, I'm going to say you're pretty tuned into that. Okay? Yeah. Most people, when I get in there, that is not what it looks like at all. That's usually where we do a lot of work. So that was really pretty. Yeah, this was a really nice session for me. I didn't have a lot of stuff I had to transmute. Usually it's a lot of transmuting through the body. So it was very, very good. You're very welcome. I'm going to let you go. You have a blessed day. And I will see you again soon. Okay? All right. Much love to you.
Family, thank you for being here today. If you have something that you would like assistance with and you would like included on the next transmutation ceremony, you can email that to me at gardenportalcamisfluidart@gmail.com. Please note in the subject if you would like me to read that or not, and these will be transmuted in the next ceremony. Thank you for being here. Much love to you.